Friends retreat in Rotherham this weekend, and we would just like to say hello to Rachel from Talking Dog Stitchery. Sorry, I needed to get that right. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
You have a good weekend?
Very good weekend. I love coming to these.
There we go. See, we've all had a good weekend.
Okay. I'm just gonna pan across the room.
Hi everybody, so we're here still at Floss Friend and we wanted to give you a bit of a preview of what we're seeing and designers that you're going to see out of a retreat as well. I'm not saying anything more than that, but I'm here with Bethany.
Hello,
What's the name of your business?
Blue Copus.
And where are you based in the UK?
I'm based in Rugby, that's right in the middle of the country, close to everywhere.
And I've been looking at your stuff and honestly when I walked into the room yesterday morning, it was like, oh, that is very Shetland-like. I'm going to have another look. I think you do sit in between like cross-stitch, specialty stitches. So what do you do exactly?
So the official title of what I do is counted thread embroidery. It's cross stitch, but then there's an awful lot of other stitches as well, and I don't consider them to be speciality stitches, they're just embroidery stitches, and I'm working them on a grid. So the big challenge for me is manipulating the grid to do what I want it to do. And part of that is using cross stitch very often as a foundation stitch. Part of it's manipulating those crosses, so making them shorter, taller, fatter, smaller, larger. But then also looking at other embroidery stitches and other techniques like stump work or raised work. Then we have things like padded satin stitch, using colonial knots and French knots. Really any kind of technique that's going to give me the textures that I'm looking for. So for example in the Arboretum, which is this one over here on the left, this at the very top we've got the hops there, which are based on the wild hops that are found in woodlands around about the turn of the 18th, 19th century. And I've stitched those using an old needle lace technique. And then moving down that particular sampler we have the knots for the maze, we've got cross stitch over one for the folly, and then satin stitch for the ice house. There are also horizontal cross stitches for the Japanese ace in the Japanese garden. The Pinetum uses cross stitch over one and some padded satin stitch. The pigs have been attached through stump work, so they've been stitched separately and then attached later. And then of course we have the squirrels that are stitched over one, but the tails are stitched using turkey work. So that all Gordez knots, which gives you a really nice fluffy, tufted texture.
And looking at them up close, like they're so detailed, but also looking at them with so much texture. And for somebody like me that comes from the stump work world, it's so interesting to see.
I don't think it's often used in traditional cross stitch work, which I think is a shame because it does give that extra sense of dimension and depth. But that's also using the different stitches does. So going from cross stitch over two to cross stitch over one will give you that extra, the detail, the depth that you're looking for. With the hills of that particular piece, for example, I've used a similar technique in the water garden sampler as well, where the hill to the front that's going from the top left to the bottom right has the top cross of its stitches going from the top left to the bottom right. The hill behind is going in the opposite direction, so the top cross also goes in the opposite direction.
There's so much thinking that goes through your work.
And they also have two different colours for the top and bottom stitches for those hills. So as you move around it and see it in different lights, you'll see different colours. But you have that same sense of depth that you get if you're viewing a painting. So it's a very old sort of Renaissance technique, particularly in so the Flanders region, Northern Europe, where you're looking at using purples. And those much paler, cooler colours to give you the far hills.
Yes.
And so it's that kind of thing that I'm bringing through. because there's no reason why you can't use threads in the same way that you use paints. It's just all about how you do it and the textures and the end result we're trying to get.
So do you have any like graphic art design background?
Yes, so my mother's a fine artist. She taught me to paint and draw and embroider and knit. But the only thing I never got on with was crochet.
But me neither up until recently.
Everything else. And so obviously studied art at school as well. Went on to Edinburgh Art College to study landscape architecture, which may not be a surprise given what I'm now stitching. And art and design has always been a very important part, so I've always done things. I've always made things, particularly in 3 dimensions. And since I was taught to embroider, I've typically always gone back to working with a needle and thread.
Okay.
So I've also made lace, and I am Young Lace Maker of the Year, 1991, I think. 1991, something like that. I think I might have been the only entrant. But it still counts. I still have the trophy.
Nobody knows it.
But I actually found that although I enjoyed making lace, I felt more at home with a needle. And so moved more into needle lace, and that's why I now incorporate some of those techniques into my embroidery as well. And there's something very pleasing about working with counted work, where it's freestyle for me, it's almost too free. For me to be able to design effectively, I need that challenge.
And you need the
I
grid.
need I need to solve the problem. The grid gives me a problem. How am I going to solve it? How is that going to give me a curve? How am I going to be able to make something symmetrical when I might just be off by a stitch? Because of where the stitch falls. So how do I make that work? So there's that never-ending challenge that just means it all works. So I would always say to people, if they're experienced at cross-stitching, if they've just started cross-stitching, if they're beginner or expert embroiderer, counted work is always something that you should try. It's always worth going beyond a typical square of a cross. And if you're a traditional embroidery always says, oh, well, I don't like counted work, think about why that is. Think about what it is that it's not giving you that freestyle night. Because you might be surprised.
And then, I mean, I see it with my own patterns, for example, where people will say, me, how did you make it so regular? Well, the grid does that for you.
It does, it does take some of the work out. There is work involved in counting. I can't tell you the number of times I've unpicked because I've been one thread out. My husband, who is lovely but doesn't quite understand, will say, but nobody will notice. It's like, I notice, I know. And you don't understand how it's going to throw everything else off. So the counting is a really important part of it, but there is something about that satisfaction when it all comes together. So seeing something that balances, and I don't see anything jarring in it. And asymmetry can work in the same way. You can have something, for example, my samplers are sort of symmetrical. There's similar elements happening. They're structured, but there's also a sense of freedom as well. So you'll never find the bees are going to be symmetrical because they don't fly like that.
And because that's what our brain will naturally see it as a whole rather than trying to.
Absolutely.
And it will often, even when you're looking at something that if your brain has thought is symmetrical and actually isn't, it sometimes takes you a while to figure out it actually isn't symmetrical.
And just trying to work out where the asymmetry is as well. And I think that's the same with a lot of the historical samplers, where overall they balance, but when you start trying to chart them, they can actually be way out.
We found that with Lynn constantly. We found that out. So
and that's really interesting because you're doing something that somebody's stitched probably in fairly poor light. Using materials they have available, making it up as they go along very often. And yet it works.
It does.
And we're happy with it. You don't have to make everything completely symmetrical.
I got one more question for you. Is Royal Academy? Or
yes.
What?
So this particular piece, Medusa Miscellanea, it was inspired by some fountains I saw in Pompeii and Herculaneum. And they're encrusted with mosaics and shells, and they're the sort of piece that you look at and immediately want to stitch. So I created my own version, and I'm part of a local artist group, Rugby Artists and Makers, and although what I do is very different to what the majority of them do,
Yeah.
they are all artists and they're used to entering competitions and exhibitions and so on. And they encouraged me to enter a couple of our local open exhibitions, the Coventry Open and the Rugby Open, and got accepted into both, which was a big surprise. I was very pleased, very happy about it. And then it was coming up to the time when the Royal Academy released their application forms for entrance into the summer exhibition. And so they encouraged me to put it in. I'm not sure I would have done it without their, of course, just go for it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, exactly. The worst is it gets
And
refused.
they're absolutely right. You know, it was one of those things, well, okay, so it's 20 quid if I don't get through, but it's an experience. So I completed the application. I was very surprised to find it was shortlisted, even more surprised to find it was accepted. The whole process was really
You
interesting.
want to zoom in on that, Lynn, because its detail is crazy.
If you like, I can take it down and open it up for you. So it's one of those big exhibitions that I think a lot of people know about. It's been going for over 250 years,
Yeah.
unbroken, even through COVID and through the world wars. It kept going. We have artists like Turner,
Yeah.
for example. We have various sort of more modern artists, so of course Tracy Emin, David Hockney. Really every well-known artist that I can think of has had an entrance into the summer exhibition. So it's very much a bucket list thing. I never thought that my humble little needlework would ever get that through.
Textile are often looked down at
Absolutely.
by foreign artists.
Yeah, it's
In reality,
It's coming through. It is now starting to become seen as an artwork in its own right. What was really interesting, the day that the artists go and see their pieces in situ for the first time is called Varnishing Day. It's a really special time. So you all congregate in the main courtyard outside Burlington House. You process along to St James's Church. There's a special artist service in the morning. And then you process back and have a champagne reception in all the halls and get to see your artwork and meet the other artists. So at that reception, I was talking to one of the curators and said that I was really surprised because when I filled out the application form, unlike other exhibitions, particularly our local ones, there was no textiles category. There was two-dimensional art, prints, sculpture, and architectural models, and that was it.
yeah.
So I put mine in as a sculpture because I couldn't quite decide where else it would fit. It certainly wasn't two-dimensional, definitely not a print.
Yeah.
There's an argument that says it could be an architectural model because it is based on an architectural piece. So I went through as a sculpture and I said, well, why don't you have textiles? He said, but darling, it's all art. And it was so refreshing to hear someone from the upper echelons of the art world
Yeah.
accepting that yes, needlework is an art form in its own right. It's no longer seen by the art world as a mere craft that's only done by, women having fun with their hobbies.
Having fun with their hobbies.
And what was really lovely when I was there was to see how much textile art there was.
Yeah.
So mine wasn't the only piece. There was everything from crochet sculptures to surface embroidery, the most fabulous stitching of broken blue and white plates. There was a full cross-stitch piece of the seascape that the artist had designed and stitched during lockdown as well. But so there were some really, really special pieces and some more let's say sort of fun contemporary pieces as well. There's one with traffic cones, for example. So there's a really big variety of work that the exhibition will accept. And what I would say is if you have your own design piece, and it has to, of course, to be a piece that you have designed, and you're thinking it's not good enough, give it a go.
Yeah.
Or a local exhibition, give it a go, put it in as an artwork because it is an artwork. And if your local judges don't accept it, you've got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
But if it's good enough, if it's special enough, if the design is good,
if you believe in it
chances are it'll
yourself,
get in.
just go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen really good pieces be rejected because actually the judges are looking for something different. That doesn't mean that you don't try again.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your
No problem
time
at all.
today.
It's my pleasure.
I can say it, right? When would you sing Bethany next time?
You can.
Right. I'm so excited because the next time we see Bethany will be Big Stitch.
Big stage.
And I've already seen what she's working on and it's going to be super exciting. So
It's nearly
anyway,
finished. I promise it's nearly finished.
you're way ahead than I am. It's only drawn for me. So thank you very much for your
No problem,
time.
it's
And
my
it's been
pleasure.
lovely spending the weekend with you. So
Thank you. It's been lovely to see you too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hi. Hello everybody, this is Lisa from Attellia Frames. We are at Floss Friends retreat still. We're on the last stretch of a wonderful weekend. It's Sunday afternoon. I thought you'd all be interested to know about what Lisa does because she frames needlework apart from many other things. You do frame, you don't just frame needlework.
I do. So I frame needlework, tapestries, memorabilia, such as medals. I've framed cricket bats, I've framed cricket wickets, beer bottles, so you name it. Pretty much if it can be framed, I will give it a go. And I make customised frames to fit the piece of art, needlework, memorabilia that is being asked to be framed.
And how did you get into doing the needlework side of it, Lisa?
I've always been a stitcher. As a kid, I worked in a craft shop, dream job, over in Doncaster. So I've always done needlework, and I've sort of lived with it all my life. So a keen stitcher myself, and I got into picture framing. What I think I'm in my 4th year now of picture framing. I was contacted by a member of Floss Friends retreat who says, "Oh, Lisa, you do framing. We need somebody at our retreats." So that got me into the sort of the network of the cross stitch retreats by one of the delegates.
Okay, and you frame the girls' needlework. Do you do anything in particular when you frame it, or
Yeah,
I'll let you
yeah,
tell that.
okay. So when I am framing cross stitches, I always lace them without a doubt. Everything is always laced. I talk through with the customer in terms of what sort of dimensions they want, how much fabric they want showing, do they want a mount? So once I know what the customer wants, then that's the way where I go. Some people say to me, well, you decide, you use your judgment. So I'll use my judgment in terms of spacing and how much mount needs to be shown. And then we work through selecting mount colours, so lots of different colour mount choices to choose from. We then work on the frame choices, and some people are very specific, they know exactly what they want, so we sort of make a beeline for them. Some people have just got open mind, open to anything, so we basically just pull them off, play with them, we get all the frames out, and it's the same in my framing room at home where I have my small business. We get as many things out as we need to make sure we get the right choice for that piece of artwork or that piece of needlework.
And where are you based, Lisa?
So I am South Yorkshire, so where I am, we're South Yorkshire postcode, but North Lincolnshire Council, so between Doncaster and Scunthorpe. And I run it as a small business from home. I have my framing room, my atelier, and basically people make appointments because it's just a small space, so people make an appointment, they can come and see me, and then we go through the framing choices, and when the framing is complete, that's when they pay for it, and then they collect at the same time. Okay, and I do post things out as well. I have quite a few customers who will send me their needlework. I'll take lots of photos of different frame options, send them to them, and they make the choice sort of remotely. And once they've given the go-ahead, I make way with framing their work.
Lovely. Any more questions? Can you think of anything, Letitia?
Nope.
Okay, we'll put some links in the video
In the
so
video.
that you can contact Lisa direct. And if you've got anything else,
All I would say is, obviously, with the posting ones, I do post with glass, because originally I was like, oh, best use acrylic, but touching wood, glass has worked okay in the post. Depending if it's too big, then obviously that's the risk we take. And with the glass, we have plain glass, non-reflecting, and the art glass as well that I offer.
And,
that is a little bit more expensive.
When is your next retreat after this one?
The next retreat, now you're testing me, I believe I'm at, no, so April, I think it'll be the next one, but I'm at one in Grantham as well. I think that's in May.
Okay.
lovely. Right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Obviously, it's not a retreat without a brag table. So here are a few. Just shows you how different can the same piece look on the different fabric and with the different threads, which is really cool. I love this. So let's have a quick look at what we have. This one is epic in size. Obviously, the Yeah in the Woods from Cottage Garden Samplings, that's on my list to do as well. I love that as well. All those amazing finishes. And retreats are amazing because that's when you've got the space to do jobs like this, which is starting a new piece, putting it on a frame.
Swearing at it.
Swearing at it. What are you starting then?
I'm starting that, put the bird in.
Put a bird on it from Modern Folk Embroidery that we matched the colours for earlier. Right, I can't wait to see how that's going to look on this fabric.
I didn't realise it was that mottled actually.
It was a... But I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And as much as it is the last afternoon, it is still buzzing in here. So obviously, if you've never been to a retreat, especially a Floss Friend retreat, I'll be putting details in the video, and then you can come and join us. Last but not least, we're here with Sammy.
From Little Loop Stitching. Hello, Sammy.
Hello.
We know each other quite well because Sammy's my partner in crime for Big Stitch, which is June 27th, 28th, 2026. So we've not got long now, have we?
No.
But we're not here to talk about that. So you have a new range of stitching accessories.
Yep.
That are, I have to say, they're absolutely gorgeous. I've just fallen in love with them. So do you want to tell us what your plans are and what you've done? And
Yeah. I mean, I've always sort of been quite into my doodling and arts and crafts, you know, like everybody
Yeah.
has. And I just decided to step my cross-stitch designing up to the next level, really. So created a new sort of animal series for this year, and then to go along with that, to do matching accessories, because I like a matching accessory kit. So get the hoops, needle minders, journal stickers for your stitching books and whatnot.
Floss
And
drops?
yeah,
Oh,
floss
we love
drops.
the floss drops.
Yeah, just
I absolutely love the floss drops. Oh, so do those girls.
yeah.
That was perfect timing.
Thank you, ladies.
So yeah, it's just kind of gone a little bit crazy this
And
last
they're
month. but-
themed, aren't they? You're doing
Yeah.
everything themed, so which I think is just lovely.
Yeah, so I mean, you can just get the pattern if you wanted to, but if you wanted to have everything matching, and I think they're great for like little kits and gifts for
Yes.
people. And then I've also sort of decided to do like a beginner friendly range as well. So for those that are just getting into cross stitch, or you want sort of a travel piece or a project when you're a bit too tired and you can't see the little holes. Yeah, so I've done a new range of those as well, which will be coming out probably monthly.
And there'll
so-
be lots more on show at Big Stitch.
Yeah, lots more.
Good.
Yeah, this is just really a taster. So yeah, it's taken us about 4 weeks to put this together. So by the time we get to a Big Stitch, there'll be lots more.
So there we go. Lots and lots to look forward to.
And also, we've been discussing all weekend because obviously Lynn and I have got a big plan for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And Sammy's going to receive designs from us as well.
Yeah,
You're
that's
going to be
it.
busy.
Good, that's what I want.
I'm going to show you again all the accessories and all of Sammy's patterns and stuff. And obviously, we're going to have all the details in the description below where you can find Sammy. who is, by the way, in case you didn't know that, the organizer of the Floss Friend retreat. I love this new range. And look at those floss drops are amazing. This is brilliant. Anyway, I think that's a wrap for the Floss Friend retreat videos.